So tomorrow, December 6th, we have our second free major content update, which is going to be the Toy Story update, the winter update, the festive update, whatever you want to call it, but I guess the correct name of this is Missions in Uncharted Space. As always, whenever we have a big update, it comes with a big patch, meaning there will be some improvements and optimizations as well as bug fixes. And I counted 26 items exactly from the patch notes, so I'll be going over each of the 26 updates that we're getting. And trust me, you're going to want to stick all the way to the end of the video because there are some really cool improvements being made that's really going to help us out. So let me actually go through the bug fixes first. There are 11 bug fixes and these should be fairly easy to go through. So with the first bug fix, all avatars now have the same animation speeds. Specifically, you'll notice that the crop watering and cooking animations have been updated to reflect this. So I think what this one means is that we actually have different choices for our avatars, right? And so they probably had different animation speeds. And so now they're all going to be the same animation speed, and they're saying that you'll definitely notice it when it comes to the crop watering and cooking animation. The second bug fix is saying that they confirmed that critters are not conspiring against you. Critters that have been befriended through feeding will now correctly appear in the collections menu. So I'm guessing for some of us, we correctly fed some of the critters and they did become an option as a companion, but they did not show up in the collections menu that you actually collected it. But now that should be fixed. The third bug fix is that the avatar will now always look at the camera when in selfie mode. And definitely I've been trying to take certain pictures and my character is just looking to the left, looking down, looking up, looking all over the place, and I just can't take a good picture, but I think maybe now this time it will be fixed. They fixed a soft lock which sometimes occurred when pressing the return to title screen button. The collection menu now updates correctly when new resources are collected. For the quest called A Deal with Ursula, players who previously had picked up the Dark Crystal should now be able to complete the quest. The quest called Photo Fervor, the elephant graveyard can now be properly photographed. The quest called the Dreamlight Fountain, the celebration ribbon will now be properly recognized when placed close to the fountain. The quest called Part of His World, players who were encountering a blocker will find the Nautilus consumable has been given back, which should unlock progression. The quest called Lair Sweet Lair, when Goofy redecorated his house, he accidentally misplaced a quest critical piece of paper. It has been recovered and returned to its expected position in his house. And the last bug fix, which is the quest called Peacemakers, improve collision issues with palm trees to reduce the chance of leader shards and other items getting caught in them. Okay, for this next section, we're going to be talking about the improvements and optimizations, and trust me, some of these are really cool. There are exactly 15 improvements and optimizations, and we start off with number 1, which is that Disney Dreamlight Valley is now fully compatible with Steam Deck and verified by Steam. So for those of you that have a Steam Deck, first of all, congrats that you have a Steam Deck. Does seem like they're really cool, and maybe one day I can actually get one. But yeah, now the game seems like it's fully compatible with that Steam Deck and you should be able to play pretty nicely. So number 2, and it seems like this is something that they do for every single patch, is that they optimize game stability on all platforms. In particular, they put a considerable focus on optimizing the experience on Nintendo Switch, which players should find smoother now. They're going to continue to evaluate the performance on each platform and push for further improvements and optimizations in upcoming updates as part of early access. I'm sure many of you who play on the Nintendo Switch can also agree with me. I really do hope there are massive improvements to the Nintendo Switch because it has been pretty poor in terms of gameplay. I actually completely stopped playing the game on my Switch because it was so bad. I just play it on my PC now. It's much better, much smoother. I'm sure it plays smoothly on the PlayStation 5 as well as the Xbox Series X, but it seems like all the other consoles, specifically the Nintendo Switch, it's been a pretty poor experience, and I really do hope that they fix it because I would love to play it on my Switch as a handheld. I don't want to have to drop like $500 for a Steam Deck just yet. So they also updated many of the fireplaces in Dreamlight Valley to allow you to manually light them. There are some exceptions like the Horn Tavern fireplace, the Cozy fireplace, the Antique furnace, and the Celestial fireplace. The next update, and I think this one might be the best one out of the entire list, and it says that Kristoff has expanded the inventory of his stall to include a wider range of items. Specifically, they're saying that there may be some iron ingots, which is a total game changer. It's so difficult to get enough iron ingots for all the quests or whatever you're needing to do. Iron ingots are sometimes an issue, and I'm glad that they're adding it to Kristoff's stall. And honestly, this is a really good sign that they're updating Kristoff's stall, because they can keep doing this moving forward. They can keep updating it based off of things that people don't like collecting, and they can just continue to update it to help us out, which also means that maybe in the future they might actually update Goofy's stall with adding more vegetables and with more seeds. So honestly, this is a really good sign. I'm really happy about this. This next one's also a pretty good one. They are improving the wood distribution across all biomes. This change will make it so that the wood you find in each biome feels less random. While spawn rates will be slightly less frequent than before, each biome will now have a fixed set of wood that can spawn and will appear in consistent amounts, taking the guesswork out of gathering. Now I feel like this has an upside and a downside, because the downside is that the spawn rates are going to be less frequent, which is something that I don't think any of us are going to be too happy about, because I feel like we need more spawn rates. But having a more well-rounded distribution of the different types of wood, I think will also help us out in the long run. The next update is also another really good one. They buffed the critter stomachs to allow for even more treat sharing. So it's going to be possible to feed critters multiple times per day. This is also a game changer, because when you were able to only feed the critter once per day, you had to wait until that same critter comes back so that you could feed it again and then maybe get it as a companion. But now that you can feed it twice per day, you might be able to get the companion just in that same day. And you'll also be able to get more items from them as well. They reduced the game loading times across all platforms. They reduced the game installation size. They improved the loading of in-game assets to provide players with a better performance. They deployed optimizations to reduce chances of frame drops, which were caused by certain animations. I feel like this one might help the Switch quite a bit. They improved the performance and memory usage of large gardens, 50+ plants while gardening. This one's also a good one, because definitely when you have these large, very large gardens, I can definitely feel the lag, or even at the same time when you kind of walk away from it, it feels like there's nothing there, but I know I have a big garden there full of veggies. So I feel like the performance improvement as well as the memory usage updates, this will definitely fix some of that issue. They removed the dried plant visual effects to improve game performance. So that's going to be interesting, because I wonder if they're going to remove those Dreamlight duties that require you to water dried plants. Since they're removing these visual effects of the dried plant, are they going to remove that Dreamlight duty as well? They optimized various visual effects to improve game performance. They fixed memory leaks, which led to reduced performance and crashes in certain circumstances. And then the last improvement they made, which is also another good one, they improved item limits feedback in furniture edit mode by adding a second on-screen counter. The top counter tracks the number of different items placed in the valley, while the bottom counter tracks the total number of items including duplicates. This should provide more clarity when reaching these limits, as like before, hitting either limit will prevent players from placing any more items in their valley, unique items or total items respectively, until they remove items to make space. So definitely that's a nice update, because there are times when we don't even know when we're reaching our item limit, and so with these counters it's going to be a little bit more beneficial for us. So these are all of the improvements, the optimizations, the bug fixes that they're going to have for tomorrow's big update. And this update is planned to begin at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time or 6 AM Pacific Standard Time, which means that this big Toy Story update, as well as the missions in Uncharted Space, is also going to be starting right at that time. Now, if you're unsure if you're ready for this big update tomorrow, go ahead and watch this video right here, because I go over 6 different things that you should do before this update to kind of help you prepare for what's coming tomorrow. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please hit that like button for me and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Hope you all enjoy the update tomorrow, and take care.